This episode of Techno Buffalo is brought to you by Squarespace. What's going on, guys? I'm Mark Linsanger from Techno Buffalo, and what I have in front of me are the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 and the Verizon exclusive Motorola Droid Turbo, two incredible devices that feature Quad HD displays and top-notch specs. But ask yourself this, do features matter to you more or battery life? Let's go ahead and see which one deserves a spot in your pocket. Now, like the usual comparisons we do, we talk highly of specs, and these two are nearly identical. Both are using Snapdragon 805 processors clocked in at 2.7 GHz, both have 3 GB of RAM built in, and both are equipped with QHD displays, which look absolutely gorgeous. Now, while specs and screen resolution are largely the same, the Droid Turbo sports a smaller 5.2-inch display, a 21-megapixel camera on the back, a ridiculously huge non-removable 3900 mAh battery, and non-expandable storage options of either 32 GB or 64 GB. The Galaxy Note 4, on the other hand, is rocking a bigger 5.7-inch display, a built-in heart rate sensor, fingerprint scanner, a 16-megapixel camera, and a smaller 3220 mAh removable battery. It also features 32 GB of expandable storage up to 128 GB via microSD card. The Galaxy Note 4 is available for all 4 major US carriers and is going for around $300 with a 2-year contract. Now, while the Droid Turbo is exclusive to Verizon and is going for $200 for the 32 GB variant and $249 for the 64 GB model under the same terms. Both devices have solid build and are nice looking and easy to hold. However, I feel like the Galaxy Note 4 still has a slight advantage over the Droid Turbo in terms of design. The Note 4 just feels and looks more premium than the Droid Turbo, and that's not me bad-mouthing the Droid Turbo at all, because I love the sturdy, durable design. It's just that the full metal frame and soft material on the back offers a much better feel compared to the Droid Turbo's plastic body. I do love the unique ballistic nylon offered on the Droid Turbo, but ultimately it's not quite as nice as the Note 4. Now, form factor is also a big thing for a lot of people, and if you don't have relatively big hands, the Note 4 can definitely be a bit unwieldy compared to the more compact Turbo. I personally prefer the Droid Turbo's smaller footprint and thicker design, and I think it's a perfect size for a smartphone. It's hefty, and it's a device that can handle one-handed. For me, I'll take the smaller form factor over the premium build any day. After using the Note 4 for longer stretches, however, I actually found myself getting used to the larger size, often utilizing the S Pen to make the Note 4 size more manageable. It takes some time getting used to, but the Note 4 size isn't that big of an obstacle during everyday use. Now, like I said, I still prefer the Turbo's smaller size, but Samsung does a pretty decent job of making the Note 4 size more manageable once the S Pen comes into play. The 5.7-inch Super AMOLED display on the Note 4 looks so awesome. The colors are super vibrant, contrasty, and the viewing angles are great. The Droid Turbo's 5.2-inch screen with AMOLED is no slouch either, but still not as good looking as the Note 4's. Watching videos and playing games or just browsing the web, the Note 4 is much better when it comes to consuming media content thanks to its bigger screen. Both these devices are running Android 4.4.4 KitKat out of the box, but the experience couldn't be more different. The Note 4 has TouchWiz on top of Android, which I have mixed feelings about, whereas the Droid Turbo is rocking an almost vanilla Android, which I really enjoy using. There are some cool software features that the Droid Turbo has that the Note 4 doesn't offer, and vice versa. Though the Droid Turbo features Moto Display, where a selected part of the screen lights up to show you the time and your notifications without turning on your device. And this feature alone helps a ton when you want to save on battery life. There's also Moto Assist, Actions, and Voice. Assist essentially changes your phone's behavior based on what you're doing or what your day is like. With Voice, you'll be able to activate Google Now with a custom phrase, and with Actions, you'll be able to dismiss an alarm or call by waving your hand over your phone. Many of these software features you just won't find on a Note 4. Now, the Note 4 has the S Pen though, which is a huge selling point for the Note series and what sets the Note 4 apart from its competition. But in terms of software features, there are a few notable additions. There's multi-window support, which essentially allows for 2 apps to run at the same time, and one-handed operation, which is super helpful if you want to be able to reach across your device one-handed. There's also easy mode for parents and grandparents who want a simpler looking UI. Little software features that make the user experience much better. Other hardware and software related features are the fingerprint scanner, which Samsung has been improving quite a bit recently, and there's also the heart rate monitor on the back under the camera for health nuts. I know, let me stop this video for just a quick one and thank our friends over at Squarespace. Squarespace recently launched their latest version of their platform, Squarespace 7, and it's amazing. I personally use Squarespace to build my website, and it's probably the easiest platform I've used. It now integrates with Getty Images and Google Apps, so I can find and use images in my Google Apps easier, and now offers new templates, which looks amazing. You don't necessarily need to know CSS or HTML to build a good website, just use one of their existing templates and make it your own. If you want to try the new Squarespace 7, go to squarespace.com and enter the promo code TECHNO with a capital T to get 10% off your next purchase. Trust me, it's worth it. Looking at the back of these two devices, you have the 16 megapixel camera on the Note 4, a 21 megapixel camera on the Droid Turbo. Now, right off the bat, you're probably going to say, well, the Droid Turbo has a higher megapixel count, so that's definitely the much better camera here. No. The Note 4 features an optical image stabilization, which is very helpful when shooting low light and filming a video. Whereas the Droid Turbo features digital stabilization, which isn't as good nor as helpful, especially when filming a video. Both take great pictures in good lighting conditions, though the Droid Turbo still has that shutter lag I mentioned in our review, which is where this device falls. In terms of camera UI, the Droid Turbo is very simplistic, you have very few options to choose from, and it's the complete opposite for the Note 4. The Note 4 offers a ton of options and tweaks you can mess with, and a few different shooting modes as well. It's worth noting that the Note 4 also features a pretty decent 3 megapixel ultra-wide front-facing camera, and it's ridiculous. So when it comes down to camera experience, overall, I'm going with the Note 4 on this one. Now, with all that being said, after testing these two devices, when it comes down to battery life, the Droid Turbo lasted for days, maybe 2 days and a few hours. I constantly use it, I had push notifications coming from Twitter, Gmail, and other social networks, I made calls, and it lasted forever. The Note 4 would need to be charged every day or so, depending on what I was doing, and I don't think that's bad at all. However, it's still not as good as the Droid Turbo's battery life. Both feature Qualcomm's latest turbocharging technology, so you'll be able to get about 6 hours of usage in about 15 to 20 minutes, and honestly, it works well. Something that I wish every phone had. So if you're more of a power user and want to be able to do two things at once and you want a fingerprint scanner, a stylus, then the Note 4 has the software and hardware features to provide you with what you need. If you want a simple device and a battery that'll last forever and a more manageable form factor, the Droid Turbo is your choice. I personally think the Note 4 is still the better device here just because I can do more, and I think the camera, which is incredibly important, is better. I can run 2 apps at once, use the S Pen to draw or jot down notes on the go, and enjoy the bigger screen for media consumption. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Don't forget to check us out at technobuffalo.com for the latest and greatest tech news. And as always, I'm Mark Linsanger from Techno Buffalo. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you guys would like to see more, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And we'd like to play video games every now and then in this office, so make sure to check us out at twitch.tv/technobuffalo, and we hope to see you guys there.